Well, welcome back to another video. My first ever ranking video. Now, this ranking video is going to be based on the 6 films in the Scream franchise. And for this ranking, there's definitely going to be some controversial ones, and I completely understand if you disagree with a lot of them. And please, let me know your opinions on the Scream movies, and give me your own ranking in the comments. I want to see your opinions, and what you think are the best and worst Scream films. Now, sadly, it hates to say this one, because I love the opening to this movie, but I found Scream 2 to be my least favorite of the franchise, and that one really hurts to say because I love Mickey, but I don't like Nancy Loomis as the killer, and I don't like the story necessarily in this one. This one has like one of the weakest stories in my opinion. There just wasn't a lot happening. Like, Neve Campbell's character, Sidney Prescott, obviously just running away like usual from Ghostface. Ghostface comes back and starts attacking her in college. But honestly, the story wasn't that bad now that I think about it, but it just didn't really feel like a good Scream movie to me. Like, all Scream movies are good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like Scream 2 is probably the most mediocre of the franchise, in my opinion. As I said, completely understand why you guys would disagree with it, but it's just my opinion. It is not the correct one at all. But that's overall just my opinion. And the main thing that really makes me mad about this film is the way they killed off Randy, bro. I love Randy. If Randy was alive, he would be my all-time favorite character. I'm gonna be completely honest, but Dewey, my boy Dewey, has always been my favorite character, and that is just my opinion. And that is because of what he did after Scream 2 specifically. Fifth place, I would have to go with Scream 3. This one I didn't want to put in the bottom because I love Hollywood, and I love the way that they made this movie take place in Hollywood. I thought that was a really good idea, especially for Scream, since Scream is all dedicated around movies specifically. So making this all take place around a filming set for Stab 3 was a really cool idea. I just don't think it was portrayed as well as it could have been, which is, I feel like, the down point for Hollywood being used for the main location of a Scream movie. The killer was great. I love the story for his motive, dude. I love Roman. Roman's my man, bro. Roman is such a great character, and it was a great send-off to Jamie Kennedy's character as well, with his tape at the scene where they meet Martha, I think his sister's name was. I'm not quite sure. I'd probably have to rewatch Scream 3. I haven't seen it in a long time, but yeah. Fourth place would have to be Scream 5. Now, I had a lot of fun with this movie, I'll be completely honest. Even though I did have fun with this movie, it felt like a really bad, in a bad way, a copy and paste of the original. Like, there is still some cool aspects, and there's still some unique stuff with the film. Like, bringing Billy Loomis back to reprise his role as a, hallucination of Sam, a vision. I thought that was a really cool idea, and I like what they did there. I like it how we went back to the Mocker house. I like Richie. I like Amber. They're both great killers, if I'm being honest. But it's just not as good as the original, and I feel like it's pretty weak. I do like this movie, though. I do think it's a really good movie for what they do in the film. I think it's pretty impressive, because even though it is pretty basic, I still think it's a good film. Introduces Sam and Jenna Ortega, which I thought was a really cool thing, because now we have a whole bunch of new characters taking over this new trilogy, but they ended up not making a trilogy out of it. And now we only have Scream 6. My third place, yeah, it would have to be Scream 4. Dude, Scream 4, I had so much fun with. I love Kirby and I love Jill. Charlie, cool guy. And the overall, just like the era that this movie takes place in, like going back to Woodsboro, going back to like the movie genre that it was, like in this time not being like Scream 3 where they go out of Woodsboro and Scream 2 going out of Woodsboro. They go back to Woodsboro and they change it to be similar to the original, but not too similar to the original. I love the final act. The kills in this one are probably the best the franchise has ever seen. The opening sequence is probably one of the best opening sequences in concept. In concept. Because the actual opening sequence itself isn't really that good. I was really sad with this opening. It had so much potential. Great idea in concept, but it was just portrayed terribly. I love the idea of a movie within a movie within a movie, but they just did it wrong, in my opinion, and I feel like we could have gotten something way better than that. But unfortunately, that's what we got, and that's what we have to deal with. Charlie wasn't a great killer. I'm not really a big fan of him. Jill, though, was great, and I love how she made it past the final act and went to, like, what I call overtime act. Like, basically, the main game's over, but there's still overtime. So she had, like, overtime to kill Sydney and kill Dewey and kill Gail and kill everyone in the hospital. But she ended up dying. At least that's what we think. Same can be said for Stu Macher. And second place, this one's also a big of a hot take, because I know at first people loved this movie, but then they just started hating on this movie a little bit more over time. But I would have to go with Scream 6. Now, this one's a hot take for me, but I remember watching this one in theaters, and it was one of the greatest experiences ever. I love that opening sequence. It was great. I love Scream 6's opening sequence. I just feel like it could have been portrayed a little bit better, but I love the concept of the killer being revealed in the first 2 minutes of the film, which was portrayed really well. It's just, after that moment, the other parts of the opening sequence was a bit bland, and it felt a little bit too long for an opening sequence because it's divided into two specific parts and it's in multiple different places, which is not what the Scream franchise is used to. Like with the original, there's phase 1, the call, and then phase 2, hiding, and then phase 3, phase 2, the getting terrified and wondering where the killer is, and then phase 3 would be answering the trivia, and then phase 4 would be getting killed. Scream 2 was phase 1, buy tickets and get into the movie. Phase 2, watch the movie. Phase 3, get Pepsi and popcorn. And then phase 4 would be getting killed again. And then phase 3, or blah blah blah, whatever. Phase 1 for Scream 6 was the call. Phase 2 was getting out of the call and going onto the streets, or going onto the streets. And then phase 3 is dying. Phase 4 is the reveal. Phase 5 is putting all of your stuff away, getting dressed back up into a normal person, walking home. Phase 5 is getting back home and entering your apartment. Phase 6 is getting a call from the killer. Phase 7 is playing a trivia or playing a hide-and-seek game with him. And then Phase 8 is dying. There's so many phases throughout, like, the Scream 6 opening. There's just a lot to handle in that opening, but it's still great. Now, I talked a lot about Scream 6 already, but it's so unique. I love what they did. I love the killer's design. I love all the kills in this movie. I love how unique it is for bringing Ghostface into public territories. I love the New York aesthetic of it. I think it's great. I just wish the Halloween aesthetic was more developed in this movie. It was maybe in, like, you could tell it was a Halloween movie for, like, maybe a few scenes, but that's really it. And Scream 6's reveal was pretty weak as well. I didn't like it. The soundtrack was probably the best of the franchise, in my opinion, because it actually has a few good songs, while most of the other Scream films really only have like one good song, in my opinion. One song that stands out. But with Scream 6, there's multiple songs that stand out. And I love how they have Spencer Charnas in the I'm Still Alive music video by Demi Lovato. I thought that was great seeing Spencer in there. Spencer Charnas is vocalist of Ice Nine Kills, founder of Ice Nine Kills as well. And my first place obviously is the original. It's an excellent film. It changed horror forever. And now people look back on Scream and realize what a masterpiece the film is, changing the genre forever, bringing horror back to its roots, bringing horror back in general. And Scream was really the kicking point for the horror movies and bringing them back to what they were. And now horror films in general are popular again. People love horror films now, and people want to watch horror films now because of Scream and what Scream set for horror movies. Because in the 90s, horror movies were falling down, they were dying. But then Scream in the mid-90s came out of nowhere and shocked everyone. And everyone was all over it, and now it's one of the most iconic horror movies of all time because of what this man did for horror. And it has great kills, the best characters in the franchise, good soundtrack, great ending. Dude, I love the ending. Oh my god. But overall, that is my ranking for the Scream movies. Last place, Scream 2. Fifth place, Scream 3. Third place, Scream 5. No, fourth place. Third place, Scream 4. Second place, Scream 6. And my number one is the original, hands down. No competition there. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and remember, let me know your opinion in the comics. In the comments, I mean. So, thank you all for joining me on this video. I had a wonderful time talking about the Scream films and my ranking of them, because there's a lot to talk about. Expect me to talk about more and rank more in the near future. Maybe I'll rank the Terrifier films if you guys want me to. Let me know in the comments down below what movie franchises I should rank next. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you.